Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 30th of September 2024. Now it looks like Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market are ending in a positive note, and it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens in the last quarter of this year, because you have elections coming up, isn't it? And with geopolitical chaos going on right now, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market. Now look, guys, I do feel if President Donald Trump has a clean sweep, there is a very high possibility that Bitcoin could be reaching to new all-time heights. So definitely keep an eye on what is going on in the election world. And I saw a really interesting quote via LinkedIn, guys, that actually talked about the state of the global cryptocurrency market this year. In October, looks like we are in October. In November, they've called us at November. And in December, guys, looks like Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market is probably going to go on completely new highs, isn't it? So hopefully, guys, we have interesting times ahead. Now in today's episode, guys, we're going to be talking about some really interesting drama, and this is between Swan Bitcoin and possible Tether's involvement in a lawsuit as well. Now look, guys, so far Swan Bitcoin is concerned, they're essentially a Bitcoin investment platform, and their aim is to help people save the value of Bitcoin. And if you actually follow Swan Bitcoin, guys, they definitely put up some really great information via LinkedIn, and they're focused specifically on Bitcoin, and rightly so. But the news that I'm going to be talking about, guys, is that Swan Bitcoin is actually suing former employees, and this is because they might have stolen property information from its billion-dollar Bitcoin mining company. And I'll go and discuss the involvement of Tether in this. Now look, guys, the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world is filled with a lot of drama, isn't it? So I'll go and discuss what this news is all about, and then, guys, I'll go and discuss, irrespective of whose side you're on, is it a good business move? So I'll go and discuss this impact on Swan as well as on Tether as well. Now the second news, guys, is also connected to Bitcoin, and this is more of an accelerator program focusing on decentralized finance and social finance, but it is focused only on Bitcoin blockchain. And this news is connected to an accelerator called as Bitcoin Fi, and it is done by the OG of Bitcoin, guys, that is Tim Draper, and looks like they will be providing up to $150,000 in funding and mentorship to selected projects that will focus on DeFi and social finance connected to Bitcoin blockchain. So I'll definitely go and share more information regarding this. Now the third news, guys, is a bit of an unfortunate news, and this is to do with Sorare. And looks like they're facing some legal problems in the United Kingdom, and this is more connected to gambling charges. So I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now the final news, guys, is regarding the Department of Justice and the FC's web domains that are connected to illegal financing, and it is no surprise that they have charged 2 Russian nationals for running billion-dollar money laundering services for cyber criminals. So definitely interesting news, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is connected to JPMC coin, and check this out, guys. First, Abu Dhabi Bank, they have completed programmable payment pilot with JPM coin. Really interesting news, isn't it? Or really, I'm not sure why they did not use Bitcoin or a genuine cryptocurrency, to be honest, because when you talk about JPM coin, guys, they definitely work on permission blockchain, isn't it? And there is nothing called as permission blockchain, guys. The other word for permission blockchain, in my opinion, is software. But nonetheless, guys, I'll definitely go ahead and give out information regarding this. Now the second news, guys, is more of a report, and what this report actually states is that United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, they are eyeing big investment in artificial intelligence as well as semiconductors as well. Now look, guys, so far semiconductors are concerned, it is definitely going to be a game changer for the next generation, isn't it? So I'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this. So quite a lot of cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB, and before we kickstart today's episode, guys, I do have a really interesting announcement, and this is to do with the biggest Bitcoin event that is going to take place in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, and the Bitcoin Mena Conference, guys, is coming to the capital of United Arab Emirates, and the event is taking place between the 9th and 10th of December at the iconic location of Adnex Center in Abu Dhabi. Now look, guys, you have the opportunity to join 6,000 attendees for 2 full days of groundbreaking insights, networking and innovation, and this event, guys, will feature top industry speakers as well as exhibitors as well. Now here's the beautiful thing, guys, the ticket is priced at $299, but for the listeners of Blockchain DXB, you get the event completely free of cost. This is absolutely a deal breaker, isn't it? So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, In the show notes below, there is a registration link, and the code that you can use for the event is in the show note below as well. Now look guys, you definitely can't miss this event, cause Bitcoin Mena is a premier event. It is kind of like the king of all kings so far as events are concerned, isn't it? And earlier this year guys, none other than President Donald Trump was the headlining speaker, isn't it? And we know what happened at the Bitcoin National event and what kind of an impact it had, not just on Bitcoin but in the political sphere as well. So listen guys, go to the show notes below and sign up for the event, and the registration is completely free of cost as well. So hopefully I get to see you at this event. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is definitely looking great, but as I mentioned earlier, guys, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in October and in November, because look, whether we like it or not, the US election is going to have a massive impact directly and indirectly on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now we know, guys, that one side of political parties, they definitely want more adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? And unfortunately, guys, the left-leaning administration, they definitely don't want adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, not just in US, probably the entire world as well. Definitely not in the United States of America. And I've said this thing so many times, guys, when you talk about politics, the left-leaning administration worldwide, they definitely are not fans of Bitcoin, definitely are not fans of open source, they're definitely not fans of freedom of speech as well. Rather, they are focusing on censorship, they are trying to be woke, and they want to focus on central bank digital currency. So I'm really curious to check, guys, as and when news develops regarding US politics, what kind of an impact does it have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? And right now, guys, if you look at the geopolitical chaos, things are definitely not looking good, particularly in the Middle East, isn't it? So it's going to be really dreadful times, and I'm just hoping that we have world peace and the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are heading in a positive direction. Now, so far as the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, guys, it is at a staggering $2.31 trillion. Now, listen, guys, it's really important to note that this number is driven only because of the FOMC meeting, where Federal Chair Jerome Powell has decided to reduce the interest rate hike, isn't it? But if you actually go back a month before, the economic data was out, and I hate saying this, guys, the number so far as economic factors in the United States of America is concerned, it is absolutely dreadful. So Jerome Powell reducing the interest rate might actually sound great, but if you look at the underlying numbers, guys, these numbers are absolutely horrendous. So look, guys, I wouldn't be surprised this particular week or the week after that, we might be seeing a dump in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as well. Hopefully I'm wrong, guys. Now, so far as the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, it is at $2.31 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, guys, it is marginally up by 0.13%. And if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, it is at $47.83 billion, and since the last 24 hours, guys, it is actually down by 9.06%. Now, it's really important to note, guys, that I'm looking at these numbers in the early hours of Dubai, and technically it is still Sunday in most of the Western countries. I'd like to see this number slightly higher, to be honest. Now, if you look at the volume in DeFi, guys, it is only at $3.31 billion, and DeFi as of today is accounting for only 6.92% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And later on, guys, I'll go and discuss some news by Draper Associates, where they want to focus on decentralized finance and social finance on Bitcoin blockchain. If that thing gets implemented successfully, which to be honest, guys, I extremely doubt, it could be a possibly game changer, not just for decentralized finance, but also for Bitcoin as well, isn't it? Only time will tell, I guess. Now look, guys, if you look at the total value locked, it is on a downturn, and today it is at $89.21 billion, with Lido still dominating at $26.14 billion. Now, one metric, guys, that I always tend to keep an eye on, that is decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, and unfortunately, guys, for the last quarter, this number has definitely been disappointing, and today it is only at 17.37%. In an idealistic world, guys, I would really like to see the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance around the 40% mark, and it has to be consistent at least for 6 months or so, because only then we can confidently state that the world is ready for decentralized exchanges. When will this thing happen? I really am not sure, guys. We would have to wait for an economic collapse, and we'd have to anticipate the fiat world to collapse, isn't it? Which, by the way, is definitely possible, and only then we might be able to anticipate decentralized to centralized exchange dominance around the 40% mark, because people will then no longer believe in centralized authority, isn't it? It is kind of a naive and a negative way to look at it, but that is the only way out, I guess. Now let me quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, guys, because Uniswap's 24-hour volume is shy of the $1 billion mark. It is at $949.72 million. PancakeSwap, guys, the numbers have definitely pumped up, and it is almost the same as Uniswap's volume. It is at $902.23 million. Radium, guys, is at number 3rd. Its volume is $607.44 million. Orca is at number 4th. Its volume is $302.1 million. And Aerodrome, guys, is at number 5th. and its volume is $233.24 million. Now, if you look at the volume of stable coins, guys, the numbers are not that great. But as I mentioned earlier, guys, I'm looking at these numbers in the early hours of Dubai, and it is highly possible by the time you're listening to the episode, it is early Monday morning in Western countries, and the numbers will drastically change. But right now, guys, it is only at $42.08 billion, and stable coins as of today is accounting for 87.98% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now look, guys, in an idealistic world, I'd really like to see the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance around the 40% mark, as I mentioned earlier, and I'd really like to see decentralized finance accounting for a majority of the chunk of the total cryptocurrency market volume. Definitely not stable coins. It would be great if, let's say, decentralized finance volume is around the 60% mark and the volume of stable coins should be around the 20% mark. I really doubt if that thing would ever happen, to be honest. Now look, so far as the volume of stable coins is concerned, notorious Tether USDT is still leading the pack, and it accounts for $36.84 billion. And in just a few minutes, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss some drama between Tether and Swan Bitcoin, and we'll go ahead and discuss what is the drama going on between them. Now, what I also want to do is, guys, I quickly want to compare the market cap of stablecoin issuers with that of the 24-hour volume, because if we look at the 24-hour volume of Tether USDT, guys, it is at $36.84 billion, but if you look at its market cap, it is almost at $120 billion, $119 billion to be precise. Now the second one, guys, is Circle USDC, and its market cap is $36.27 billion, but if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, it is at $2.82 billion. Now look, guys, last week I do believe Circle USDC did actually release a game changer, and that was a programmable wallet where they're focusing on being more compliant, and I'm pretty much sure because of that, a lot of businesses would want to use Circle USDC over Tether USDT. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the episode that I released on the 25th of September, I went in and explained Circle USDC's compliance engine, and they want to be more compliant, isn't it? And they're focusing on three things, that is transaction screening, transaction monitoring, and travel rule compliance, and some of them are already active and some of them will be active in the next couple of days. And because of that, guys, I'm pretty much sure that the USDT will be forced to do something similar. Now let's go back to the market cap of stablecoins, guys, because MakerDAO's DAO is at number 3rd and its market cap is $5.36 billion. But look, guys, it's really important to note that MakerDAO is switching from MakerDAO to Sky.money, isn't it? And because of that, guys, there is a very high possibility that DeFi could be resurrected, because the whole DeFi moment started because of MakerDAO, isn't it? But here's the interesting thing to note, guys. If you look at the 24-hour trading volume of DAI, it is only at $35.26 million. It's a really interesting matrix, isn't it? Now the fourth one, guys, is FDUSD, that is First Digital USD. And if you look at its market cap, it is at $2.82 billion. But if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, it is pretty much the same as its market cap. It is at $2.08 billion. Me personally, guys, I'm liking these numbers because when you talk about stable coins, these coins should be transacted twice or 3 times in a day, isn't it? And in an idealistic world, guys, the 24-hour volume should be double or triple of its market cap, because that would actually mean that people are using these stable coins as a medium of exchange. And that is something we definitely don't see in Tether USDT, isn't it? Now, the number 5th, guys, so far as the market cap of stablecoins is concerned, is Athena USDE, and its market cap is at $2.55 billion. But if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, guys, it is only at $13.31 million. So it's really interesting matrix, isn't it? Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, all of this data is via Masari.io, but you need to compare these matrix with, let's say, CoinMarketCap, maybe CoinGecko, and then make up your own mind as well as to which stablecoin is ideal. Now let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's dominance, guys, for the last 6 months has always been about the 55% mark, and today it is at 56.21%. Ethereum's dominance, guys, has marginally gone down. For the last few days, it was about the 14% mark, isn't it? But looks like it has gone down to 13.90%. And there is a very high possibility, guys, that a lot of transactions are actually taking place in Solana blockchain. Now, so far as the market cap is concerned, Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.30 trillion, whereas Ethereum's market cap is at $320 billion. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $13.74 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $10.46 billion. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, and it is at a staggering $65,865, and since the last 24 hours guys, it is up by 0.22%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 4.69%. Ethereum guys is at $2,665, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.47%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 3.75%. Binance BNB Coin guys is at $598, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.32%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.56%. Now guys, let me go ahead and talk about a really interesting news, and that is regarding Swan Bitcoin. Now look guys, I'd really recommend you to follow Swan Bitcoin on LinkedIn, because they do provide quite a lot of useful educational information regarding Bitcoin. Now this news unfortunately is a negative one. Now Swan Bitcoin guys is suing the former employees for allegedly stealing proprietary information from its billion-dollar Bitcoin mining business to launch a competing firm called as Proton Management, and this lawsuit guys is filed in California, and they claim that the ex-employees, including executives, took confidential data and vendors, and they did that with the help of stablecoin issuer Tether. And Swan Bitcoin guys alleges that the former employees conspired to damage its operation, and that Tether issued a default notice to aid in the takeover. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, in the show notes below, there is an official link regarding the charges, so please feel free to go and check it out. Now Swan Bitcoin guys are seeking an injunction against Proton, the return of stolen materials, and damages with a jury trial requested, so it's going to be really interesting to see guys what the outcome to this is. Now look guys, I tried to do some research regarding this, and what I want to do is I want to give out some more information regarding this, and I want to do it with specific timeline so you get an understanding as to what this drama is all about. And this thing started guys in 2023, where Tether funded Swan Bitcoin's mining operation in Tasmania, Australia, and by February 2023 guys, Tether entered talks with Swan for another round of funding, and an advisor to Tether called Zach Linus allegedly indicated that Tether would lead Swan's Series C round funding with $25 million investment, valuing Swan at $1 billion, and at that point of time guys, Swan had aspirations of going public as well. But there was a bit of drama to this guys. In late June of 2023, there were apparently a couple of secret meetings, and despite ongoing talks of investment, the lawsuit actually claims that Tether was secretly backing a different plan, and the employee that I mentioned earlier, that is Zach Lyons, reportedly began taking secret meetings with Swan's former head of mining, that is Ralph Zachary, as well as other employees as well. And Zach Lyons guys allegedly told them that Swan had no value to Tether, and suggested that leave Swan to continue working in Bitcoin mining with another company. And what happened guys, a month later, that is in July 2023, Zach Lyons allegedly told Rafael Zachary, as well as former Swan investment director Santiram Naidu, that Tether would take away Swan's Bitcoin businesses tomorrow. And following these discussions guys, the lawsuit claims that Rafael Zachary began undermining Swan's CEO, that is Corey Clipston, and sowing dissent within the company, and this contributed to internal chaos, which reportedly affected Swan's operations. And in mid of July 2023 guys, it became apparent that the promised $25 million funding committed from Tether would not be coming. This instability led Swan to drop its IPO plans on the 22nd of July 2023, and Swan guys also shut down its managed mining unit and also laid down 45% of its workforce. And I very specifically remember guys, I definitely covered all of this news and drama on my Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast, so what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, try to go out and listen to the episode that are released, and it has got to be somewhere around that week. Now because of this news guys, the company's valuation plummeted, forcing it to seek new investment at a much lower valuation than previously anticipated. And what happened guys, on 8th of August 2023, several key employees including Rafael Zachary and Naidu resigned from Swan and Moss, and Swan claims that this registration blindsided the company. These employees, however, had allegedly been using the Swan email account as well as corporate Zoom to coordinate their actions with Tether. And guys, just a day after that, on 9th of August 2023, Tether's counsel served Swan with a notice of event of default, and the notice claimed that Swan had breached his funding agreement, referred to as 2040 Energy, and this was due to the inability to maintain the necessary personnel to run the business properly. Now here's the interesting drama guys. The Monday following the resignation, Corey Clipston was allegedly forced to resign as CEO of 2040 Energy, and Tether then engaged in Proton Management, which is the new entity formed by former Swan employees, to take over Swan's Bitcoin mining operation. Now Swan guys claims that Proton Management, which is led by Rafael Zachary and Naidu, is an illegal facsimile of its original mining business, formed using stolen trade secrets such as proprietary mining code, optimization techniques, and financial models as well. And Swan Bitcoin's lawsuit filed in August 2023, guys, accuses 6 former employees of conspiring to steal his business and trade secrets with backing from Tether. Now it's really important to note, guys, that Tether is not named as a defendant in the lawsuit, but Swan claims it played a crucial role in the conspiracy by promising legal cover for the alleged coup, and Swan is seeking a permanent injunction against the former employees, as well as restitution, disgorgement, and punitive damages against Proton Management. Now look, as so far as Tether is concerned, Tether has outright denied any wrongdoing, stating that while it is aware of these allegations, it is not named as defendant in the case, and Tether has emphasized that it remains committed to its value of financial freedom and energy sustainability, and it has refrained from further comment, citing the ongoing legal process. Now despite Tether's significant role in the alleged scheme, guys, legal experts including Ashley Absol, who is a former SEC attorney, noted that the lawsuit does not include legal claims against Tether itself, and this could be due to lack of concrete evidence against the stablecoin giant, but the lawsuit could be amended if further evidence emerges. So look, guys, I just thought let me go ahead and share this timeline. Now look, guys, so far as Swan Bitcoin is concerned, they're actually claiming theft and misconduct, and Swan Bitcoin is accusing its former employees of plotting to steal proprietary technology as well as trade secrets to create a competing business that is Proton Management. And if proven true, guys, this could represent a serious breach of trust and ethical conduct, undermining the integrity of business relationship in the industry. Now, so far as the financial impact is concerned, guys, the lawsuit highlights significant financial losses for Swan, including a plummeting valuation of job cuts, and such consequences can damage not only Swan's immediate operations, but also its reputation in the marketplace, affecting future fundraising efforts and partnership. Now, regarding the legal strategy, guys, Swan's decision to pursue legal actions could be seen as a necessary step to protect his business interests and intellectual property, and by seeking restitution and punitive damages, Swan Bitcoin is attempting to hold these involved accountable and prevent similar situations in the future. Now look, guys, from a business point of view, is it a good move? Let me go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it, because I do feel, guys, there are pros and cons to this. Now regarding the pros, guys, I could think that pursuing legal actions might serve as a deterrent to future misconduct by former employees as well as other partners, and I do feel, guys, it emphasizes the importance of protecting intellectual property in a rapidly evolving industry, isn't it? But look, guys, from a negative point of view, legal battles can be extremely expensive, time-consuming and distracting as well, potentially further harming Swan's operational focus and financial stability. Now from Tether's point of view, guys, what I can think of is if Tether can distance itself from the actions of former Swan employees while continuing its business operations, it might protect its interest and minimize liability, isn't it? But look, guys, if the ongoing allegations continue, it could actually lead to negative public sentiment, especially if evidence emerges that implicates Tether more directly with unethical practices. Now look, guys, if you know the history of Tether and Bitfinex, I wouldn't be surprised if they are knowingly doing this. And I do feel, guys, that this could impact its partnership and trust of users and investors. And just a few months ago, guys, Tether did have a partnership with a firm in Dubai, and they want to go and launch a new stablecoin as well, isn't it? So keeping all this thing in mind, guys, it's going to be really interesting to see how Tether would actually react to this. So look, guys, I do feel determining who is right or wrong in this situation is extremely complex and may actually depend on the legal findings of the case. And if you look at it, guys, both parties may have legitimate points, but the real issue may be the ethical implications of the actions, and the resolution of this case will likely have significant repercussions, not only for Swan and Tether, but also for the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem, emphasizing the importance of trust and integrity in business dealings. Now look, guys, the cryptocurrency world is absolutely wild, and we always have some new drama, isn't it? Definitely unfortunate news. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news regarding Bitcoin finance. And Boost VC, as well as Draper Associates and Thesis, they have launched BitFi Accelerator, which is a 6-week program for pre-seed teams that are developing decentralized applications on Bitcoin network. And according to the announcement on the 27th of this month, they will provide up to $150,000 in funding and mentorship to 20 selected projects. And this initiative, guys, aims to drive innovation in decentralized finance and social finance, and this will be starting in November of this year. And key figures, guys, emphasize Bitcoin potential as a platform for real-world solutions. Now look, guys, I really am not sure if Bitcoin should be used for decentralized finance as well as social finance. I personally feel, guys, that Bitcoin should be left completely alone as a standalone asset, isn't it? And lately, guys, I'm seeing quite a lot of things being built on Bitcoin. Now, look, guys, the developers definitely have the right to do that. Because, look, guys, Bitcoin did actually implement Taproot as now signatures in it. And the purpose of this was that we can go ahead and build things onto Bitcoin blockchain. But lately, I'm seeing a lot of unnecessary things being built on Bitcoin blockchain, isn't it? And when you talk about decentralized finance, guys, I've been covering the matrix for decentralized finance. And the numbers are absolutely scary. But could it be possible that Bitfi Accelerator comes up with a new ChatGPT moment for the decentralized finance world that would be working on Bitcoin blockchain? If that thing happens, guys, there's a possibility for it to be a game changer as well. But to be honest, guys, I'm definitely not too optimistic about it. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding decentralized finance and social finance to be built on Bitcoin blockchain. Now, guys, let's go ahead and discuss some news regarding Sorare. And looks like they're having some trouble in the United Kingdom. Now, Sorare, guys, they definitely made quite a lot of news during the whole NFT hype, isn't it? And they are essentially a blockchain fantasy sports company. But they have been charged by the UK Gambling Commission for providing unlicensed gambling facilities, marking the first action against the blockchain platform. Now, the commission, guys, claims that Sorare operated without a necessary license, promoting a court appearance on the 4th of October. Now, the inquiry began way back in 2021 to assess whether Sorare required a gambling license. Now, here's why it is important, guys, because the outcome of this could actually set a precedent for regulating Web3 companies. Now, Sorare denies the charges, asserting that it does not operate as a gambling product on the United Kingdom, and they strongly believe that the commission has misunderstood its business model. Now, look, since the last month or so, I'm seeing quite a lot of news coming out from the United Kingdom, and most of them have definitely not been beneficial for the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. So I'm really curious to check what the outcome to this is, and I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if it does not go in favor of Sorare. Now, guys, let's go and discuss some drama about the Department of Justice. And the US Department of Justice, guys, they have charged two Russian nationals, that is Sergei Evnov and Timur Shakhmatev, for operating multi-million-dollar money laundering services catering to cyber criminals, and the platform, guys, including Cryptex, Rescator, and Joker Stash. And the charges, guys, states that their platforms, including Cryptex, Rescator, and Joker Stash, facilitated the laundering of over $1.15 billion in illicit cryptocurrency transactions linked to stolen payments and data, ransomware, and darknet markets. And in coordination with international partners, US authorities have seized the domains as well as servers associated with the operations, and they have actually recovered millions in cryptocurrency. Now, the crackdown, guys, reflects ongoing efforts to disrupt cyber networks and the financial systems, isn't it? Definitely interesting news, in my opinion. So those were some macro-level news, guys, on the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And the first news, guys, is regarding JP Coin and First Abu Dhabi Bank. They have completed programmable payments pilot with JPM Coin. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this. And First Abu Dhabi Bank, guys, they have successfully piloted programmable payment using JPM Coin, and this is done to JP Morgan's Onyx blockchain platform. Now look, guys, when you talk about JP Morgan's Onyx platform, this is very much of a permission blockchain, isn't it? And you need to remember, guys, one of the biggest innovations of Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin white paper was that he was able to solve the double spending problem. But when you talk about permission blockchain, guys, double spending can still occur. And to be honest, guys, according to me, there is nothing called as permission blockchain. The other word for that is software. But what this news states is that programmable payments allow execution of tasks based on predefined instructions or conditions. And First Abu Dhabi Bank, guys, has become the first bank to complete the pilot with JPM Coin, thereby enabling payments triggered by specific times or events. And this innovation, guys, offers a dynamic and automated funding and settlement solutions for First Abu Dhabi Bank and JP Morgan clients. And the pilot included time-based and threshold balance-based account funding, and this was for executing payment obligations. And unlike traditional cash concentration systems, programmable payments offer real-time and event-based configuration. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, how this thing plays out. But look, as I mentioned earlier, guys, there is nothing called as permission blockchain. The other word for that is a simple software. Now, going back to the news, guys, because of this partnership, banks can now replicate payment initiation conditions on their side, improving execution response time, and the system offers finality and traceability in transactions, And programmable payments provide treasurers with 24/7 dynamic or just-in-time funding capabilities, and this system helps maximize yields on surplus cash and minimize fees and opportunity costs. And it also reduces unexpected payment failures and relies on credit lines. And future use cases, guys, could include automated invoice payments, margin funding, and other settlement solutions. And First Abu Dhabi Bank is driving innovation by adopting cutting-edge technologies like programmable payments, and JP Morgan's Onyx unit continues to push blockchain technology in the financial sector. And this pilot project opens the door for multi-bank use cases for programmable payments, and programmable ledgers could form the foundation of future financial internet infrastructure, also called as Finternet. Really interesting but cheesy name, isn't it? Now, the pilot project, guys, demonstrates how banks can harness transaction data for a variety of programmable payment scenarios, and First Abu Dhabi Bank's collaboration with JP Morgan showcases its commitment to being a future-ready client-centric bank. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this? Now look, guys, as much as I dislike Ripple, what they could have done is they could have just implemented Ripple, and the entire process would be 10x faster, as well as 10x cheaper as well. Now, guys, let's go and discuss second news, and this is more of a report, guys, that talks about United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. They are seeking big investment in artificial intelligence, and the focus is on semiconductor sector as well. So let me go ahead and share more information regarding this. Because the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, guys, are focusing on expanding their technology sector, specifically in AI and semiconductor investment, and both countries have outlined significant investment plans, that is for artificial intelligence and semiconductor production and installation. The US export regulations have actually delayed the AI-led facility spending by companies like Microsoft, and traditional data centers that is run by Alibaba and Amazon are already operational in the region. Now, the report states, guys, that imports of servers, computers, and storage systems in UAE and Saudi Arabia total $3.2 billion in the year leading to 30th of June 2024, down from 7% year on year. And let's say if the US supply is not available, Chinese and Hong Kong firms, which currently supply 31.8% of traditional servers, could actually lead the front. Now, the report followed a UAE-US meeting discussing technology, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, climate and space as well. And United Arab Emirates Ambassador Dr. Yusuf Al-Latiba highlighted the UAE's fast progress in advanced technologies, as well as AI in sync with the United States of America. And OpenAI CEO, that is Sam Altman, guys, he actually suggested that UAE could actually serve as a global regulatory sandbox for AI testing. And regarding Microsoft, guys, they have invested over $1.5 billion in UAE-based AI firm, that is G42. That did actually happen in April of this year, isn't it? And I definitely went ahead and touched base on that news in my Crypto and Coffee Day podcast. And guys, the Global AI Infrastructure Investment Partnership was recently formed by BlackRock, Global Infrastructure Partners, Microsoft, and Mubadala-backed MGX. The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia are definitely facing competition from hyperscalers like Microsoft, and this is for chip supplies, whose capital expenditure are expected to rise significantly in the next 10 years. And both nations, guys, also aim to become center for chip manufacturing. Now, Saudi Arabia, they do have a chip strategy established with Foxconn Technology Group, and the UAE Sovereign Fund has co-invested in Global Foundries Inc. to strengthen chip manufacturing capabilities. And United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, guys, are competing with the US, Europe, Japan, and others to attract semiconductor investment. And mainland China, guys, accounts for 47% of global imports, and they are dominating access to chip manufacturing machines. And delays in European projects, guys, may provide a source for chip supply, but the report states that the state-owned fund needs to collaborate with private chip producers during a cyclic upturn in non-AI system demand. So, really interesting report, and the official link to that, guys, is in the show notes below. So these were the newscasts from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Dan who asks, what impact do you think the Ferrari case will have on the regulation of blockchain platforms in the United Kingdom? This is such an interesting question, Dan, and I do feel the Ferrari case could actually set a significant precedent for the regulation of blockchain platform in UK. And look, as I mentioned earlier, since the last 3 months or so, I'm seeing quite a lot of not so good news coming out from the United Kingdom, and this is because of the political party that is involved right now, isn't it? And as I mentioned earlier as well, the left-leaning administrations, they're definitely not fans of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, or even the so-called Web3 world, to be honest. But regarding this news, I do feel there might be impacts in certain areas, such as increased scrutiny. And I do feel, Dan, the Gambling Commission's actions against Ferrari definitely signals the regulatory bodies are willing to closely examine blockchain-based operations, especially those resembling gambling, isn't it? And this, I do feel, could lead to more rigorous compliance requirements for other platforms in the space as well. Now look, there needs to be clarity of regulation, and as a first of its kind, it may actually prompt clearer guidelines and definitions around what constitutes gambling, and this is in the context of blockchain technology, by the way. And I do feel this can also help other companies navigate legal frameworks more effectively. But look, when you talk about blockchain technology, what happens in the United Kingdom does have a massive impact on the global scale, isn't it? And I very strongly feel then that the outcome of this case may influence how other jurisdictions approach similar issues, potentially leading to harmonized regulatory environment for blockchain applications globally, and companies operating in blockchain space might need to reevaluate their business models to ensure they comply with evolving regulations, and this, according to me, Dan, could actually spur innovation, as firms generally seek compliant ways to offer services, isn't it? So I do feel that the Ferrari case could actually catalyze significant changes in the regulatory landscape, impacting both existing companies and future entrants in the blockchain industry. But really interesting and thought-provoking question. And that's about all, guys, on the Ask Me Anything Series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.